Hello, internet. So, with this weird like sun rain, which maybe you can see or not see, professional vlogging people, professional tripod. Okay, let's get down to business. I am super excited to say that my dad is 12 days, almost 2 whole weeks into veganism, which is his very brilliant term for vegan, so eating plant-based plus seafood. So he is 12 days without meat and dairy and eggs, and I am so excited, and every so often I think about it and I'm like, oh my god, Dad's lowering your risk of diabetes and hypertension, and you're lowering your high blood pressure, and you're lowering your risk of cancer, and you're helping not contribute to the animal holocaust and all the environmental damage all over the world. So cool. It's so exciting, and it's so, yeah, to say I'm jazzed is an understatement. And I was talking to him on the phone yesterday, and I was inspired to share about why vegans care so much about converting other people to veganism, and more really unpacking the stereotype of the angry vegan and giving one vegan's perspective on where that stereotype comes from. So in my biased opinion, and all of our opinions are biased, we are always just choosing what to believe in and choosing what studies we want to say are valid or true or whatever. All of those caveats. From my perspective, veganism is inarguable. There is not one point, there is not one argument, one angle that I have yet come across that has been a compelling reason for me to go back to eating eggs and dairy. I was never a meat eater, so I can't empathize with eating meat. When I was little, felt the same way I felt now. It was just very black and white then, of that thing was just walking around and eating. Why would I walk around and eat it? It's too similar, and it's become even more of that. So I wouldn't have gone vegan unless I was in a lab killing a bunch of mice, which is perhaps another video I'll make of my vegan journey, vegan story, whatever. But killing a lot of mice really changed my perspective on animals being here for us versus here with us, and made me research things like, oh wait, cows don't just need to be milked all the time. So, opened up a lot for me. So that being said, I still would say I came to veganism for the health reasons. It's a three-pronged argument. There's health, environmental, and animal benefits. And like most people, I think, I came for health. I was a really picky vegetarian. Maybe this is my vegan journey a little bit. I ate a lot of eggs and cheese and peanut butter and bread, rice, potatoes, tortillas, very little actual produce. And slowly, and then sort of exponentially, really, as I got rid of having an egg and cheese sandwich as an option, increased the produce that I was eating, and increased the portions I was eating, and got healthier and fitter and feel the best I've felt in my whole life, and that's why I'm still doing it. I've stuck with it because as I've gone down the rabbit hole of learning all about plant-based eating and the impacts of what we eat on ourselves and our whole shared environment here, humans, it's all shared, we're sharing this all. It was, once you've seen factory farm footage, it's really difficult to eat an egg or to have cheese seem appealing. And once you've learned about the environmental impacts of the environmental impacts of eating meat every day, or for me, the environmental impacts of supporting the dairy industry, it's really, really difficult to have that be appealing. And the more and more I've learned, the more, for me, what I've come to is that I'm making a choice to eat plant-based for myself. That's the way to show the most love to myself and to show the most love to everyone around me. Because what I lose my temper about, or what I still hold on to the most angry vegan about, is these people in small island nations or other countries who are doing nothing, little to nothing, to contribute to environmental damage. They're eating mostly plants and some local seafood or some local animal products, but mostly plants, and they are not contributing to environmental damage in any statistically significant way, and yet they're the ones who are being destroyed by it first, who are feeling the impacts of it first, from countries like the United States, who are the most statistically responsible for this environmental damage, who are doing the most factory farming, and most people in the US are feeling little to nones of the impacts of their actions. And so that's the anger that I'm still working with. So why do vegans get so angry? To me, it's people who have a lot of anger. They have a lot of sensitivity and passion and feelings inside of them already. And no, I'm not saying that you don't have feelings if you're not vegan. I think for a lot of people who are highly sensitive, they find veganism, it's so life-changing and amazing and empowering for them. And this is for, me, I'm saying me too, like I went through this for sure. And you look at other people and it's hard to watch them not have those same benefits as you, not see the world, not see animal liberation, not see environmental impacts, not see caring about their health in the same way that you're prioritizing things or what you're choosing. And so it can be easy to attach a lot of those feelings of anger, which is just sadness to me, to veganism. To say, hey, well, I found an argument that you can't poke a hole in because you can't. From any angle you come at with veganism, you can't. There's not the things I'll accept as, quote, rebuttals, which to me are not an argument. It's just other people saying things that I am unable to argue with, are saying, well, I like the taste of meat, subjective, or people saying meat's part of my family history, my culture, historical fact. I'm not going to debate those things. From all of the perspectives, though, of how your body responds to food, how the environment responds to what you're choosing, and the whole, consuming and using conscious beings, and then consuming that suffering of what they went through, there's not room to debate it. And to me, that's why vegans get so angry, because they're like, I found this thing and you can't prove me wrong. And really, they're just sad that other people aren't vegan, because I know for me, to come a little full circle here and make this slightly less off the cuff than it is, that's why, like, the people who I care the most about going plant-based or eating more plants and focusing on whole plant foods are the people I care about the most. And it's such a funny irony too, like there's the Gary Yourofsky thing about, his own family not listening to him, and family doesn't like to listen often, or loved ones or the people you're closest with don't want to take your advice. And what a hilarious and often uncomfortable irony that those are the ones I care the most about taking my advice and eating more plants, because I want them to be around here longer. For me, it's all selfish. It's all selfish. It is a very funny thing. I get a good chuckle out of vegans being really mean to other humans. A huge chuckle, especially out of vegans being mean to other vegans and being like, oh, you're not fully raw, oh, you're not fruitarian, oh, you eat this, oh, you like beans, you don't like beans. Like, that's a separate level of hilariousness. But vegans being mean to non-vegans, to me, I see the vegan lifestyle as a lifestyle of compassion and non-harming, ahimsa. I very much relate it to yoga and a yoga lifestyle, and so it's funny to see vegans be so harsh to other humans, because it's like, hey, you're doing all of this stuff to be really, really kind to your body and to animals and to other humans in other parts of the world who are affected by global warming, and yet it's so difficult in a one-to-one conversation, or meet a phone or whatever it is. It's a lot more challenging to be compassionate in that situation and say, hey, here's what I'm doing, here's what's working for me, here are my thoughts, here's something that I care deeply about. And again, with veganism, it's a philosophical, it's a deep thing. This is, people feel strongly about it, and I feel strongly about it. How do you present those strong feelings? How do I present those strong feelings without it being, and you're wrong for not doing what I'm doing, or you should do this, or don't eat meat, or whatever it is. And that's why I've come to promoting reducitarianism, or saying eat more plants to people, reduce your meat intake, reduce your financial support of factory farming, and notice, give your body the time and space to experiment and play. Like, I would never have given up dairy. I was such a cheesehead. A year and a half ago, I would have said, I'm a vegetarian and vegans are crazy because they won't eat cheese. And for the next 20 years of my life, I get to say I've eaten cheese more days than I haven't. And within 3 days of not having it, I felt so different that the idea of going back to it was unappealing, and it just kept going from there. And that's why I really encourage people to be open to experimenting, and why I really encourage people to eat more whole plant foods. Please, please, for you, and really, if we're going to come back to it again, for me, it's all selfish, because if you're happier, then I'm going to be happier too. So thank you for listening to this car chatter. Thank you for being here. Message me if you want to talk vegan recipes. I literally would talk about them for hours. Oats are vegan. Smoothies, seeds, rice, beans, salsa, guac, greens. You got a meal. Done. Don't overthink it. You're eating more vegan things than you think you are already. Enjoy them.